Hello guys, welcome to Gustav's programming tutorial. In today's lesson, we will be continuing our tutorials on methods in Java. We will look at a concept in programming known as method overloading. So, what is method overloading? Methods of the same name can be declared in the same class as long as they have different sets of parameters determined by the number, types, and order of the parameters. Overloading a method allows you to use one identifier to execute diverse tasks. In other words, you overload methods by providing different parameter lists for the methods with the same name. The parameter list must satisfy one or both of these conditions. 1. The list must have different number of parameters. For example, one list could have one double, another list could have two doubles, and a third list could have 10 doubles. 2. The list must have parameter data types in different orders. For example, one list could have two doubles, another could have an int followed by a double, and a third could have a double followed by an int. When you overload a Java method, multiple methods share a name, and the compiler understands which one to use based on the arguments in the method call. It is easier and more convenient for programmers who use your methods to remember just one method name they can use in the form that is most appropriate for their programs. It is convenient to be able to use one reasonable name for tasks that are functionally identical, except for the argument types that can be passed to them. The compiler knows which method version to call based on the passed arguments. Now, let's take an example. Suppose we want to write a method to calculate the maximum of two numbers. Because we might have the numbers being integers or doubles or both, we might have multiple overloaded methods to perform this functionality. So, outside our main method, let's construct our first method. So, public static int max, and inside the parentheses, the parameters int num1 and then int num2. Inside the body of our method, our decision statement. If num1 is greater than num2, return num1, else return num2. Now let's create our second method. And since this will be an overloaded method, let's copy this block of code and paste it here. And now let's change our int data types to double. So now we have two overloaded max methods, one being of type int and the other a double. Now let's call these methods, one with int arguments and the other with double arguments. So let's display a statement, system.out.println, and a string. The maximum of 4 and 6 is, then our max method with 4 and 6 passed as argument. Let's copy and paste it, and then we change 4 and 6 to 8.2 and then 2.1 respectively. Now let's run the program. In the output window, we get the maximum of 4 and 6 is 6, and the maximum of 8.2 and 2.1 is 8.2. We can add more overloaded methods. So for example, let's add 1 for the square of max. So our first square method, public static int square, and the parameters int num1 and int num2. For the body, type return max num1 num2 and times max num1 num2. Let's copy our first method and then paste it for our second method. Then we change the types from int to double. Let's display it. So in main, we type our system.out.println and the string, the square of and max 9 and 3 is square 9 3. Copy and paste it, and then change the values to 3.1 and 5.0. Now let's run it. In the output window, we have the max displayed, and now the square of the numbers also displayed. What happens here is that at return max in square method, a call is made to max and the result is multiplied to give and return the square. Now, what if we use an integer and a double as the argument in our method? So let's copy this statement and then paste it, and we change the values to 2 and 4.8. Paste it again and change the values to 3.5 and 7. We run the program and we get this output. We notice that the max and square for the last two return the double, even though the max for the last one is an integer. Why is this? In previous lessons, we learned that Java casts variables to a unifying type when you perform arithmetic with unlike types. In a similar way, Java can promote one data type to another when you pass a parameter to a method. So, because one of the parameters was a double, the integer parameter was promoted to a double, and the value returned as a double. Well guys, thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please subscribe to this channel for more, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe.